Welcome back. We're joining this podcast because Jeremy is going to talk about, apparently I sleep talk.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes, apparently.
You definitely do.
Okay, well, I've lived in houses my entire life, and
apparently nobody's ever told her that she sleepwalks or sleep talks. She does a bit of both.
I don't... Like, what have I done?
A lot. I'd go on for a while. Do you have any experience with anyone else that you know that sleepwalks or sleep talks? Do you have any knowledge about sleepwalk?
Well, yeah, my sister used to sleepwalk, actually.
Like what was her severity in that?
She would get up. We used to live in a house in Tennessee. It was a 2-story house. She would get up and go downstairs, and she would open the cabinets to the entertainment center and, like, just slam them shut repeatedly. For no reason. And I once looked at her, I was like, Sam. Sam! And I kept saying her name, and then she woke up and she's like, what? I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, why am I downstairs? I'm like, I don't know, why are you opening and closing the cabinets? And she's like, I what? I'm like, just go back upstairs. And another time, she woke up and she was sitting in the toilet in the bathroom. And she was like, Mom? And my mom was like, what? She's like, why am I in the toilet? And Mom's like, did you have to go to the bathroom? And she's like, no, I just woke up and I'm on the toilet. And then another time she was laying on the couch, halfway awake, and I'm trying to go upstairs to go to bed because it's late, and I'm just tired, and I just want to go to bed. I'm walking up the stairs, and she goes, Melissa! I was like, what? She's like, don't go upstairs yet! I'm like, why? She's like, wait! And I'm like, wait for what? She goes, wait for the cup to leave. I'm like, what? What? What does that sentence even mean? What do you mean, wait for the cup to leave? And she goes, wait for the cup to leave. I'm like, Sam, what the hell are you talking about? But I didn't say hell, because back then I didn't swear. I was an innocent, pure being. I didn't swear at all. So I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, it has to leave first. And I'm like, how does a cup leave? Like, what are you doing? What drugs are you on, child? Like, what are you talking about? And I kept trying to go up there and ignore her, and she's like, no! And she, like, either she was fucking with me and she knew that I was...
That's what I think. I think she was... at that point, she was just fucking with you.
I was just like, dude, I want to go to bed. Stop it. Let me go to bed. It was just retarded. It was so silly. And she still sleepwalks every now and then. Now she thinks her house is haunted, but I'll tell you that after we finish the podcast.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast, haunted stories.
Oh, yeah, I'll tell you
that should be its own
We'll do that
podcast.
next time. We'll do that next time.
All
right, anyway, so share some story. Apparently I sleepwalk, though, so tell me what I thought.
You sleepwalk and sleep talk, sometimes both, sometimes one at a time.
Okay, tell me some fucking stories, man.
Okay. All right. So we'll get to the grand adventure probably towards the end of this, but your most recent one was which one was that? Was that the one where you were talking about it was something about a fly. So I was out playing a game in the other room at night, as I always do while you're sleeping, and I just hear mumbling, and I'm like, oh boy, what concoction's going on here?
You need to record me doing it.
I know, but I always, for some reason, forget because I'm too busy. Like, I will at some point.
F's in chat, and Jeremy will post a video of me
sleepwalking or sleep talking.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so I hear mumbling, I come in, and you're just kind of, like, whispering into your pillow, which at first I'm kind of like, well, this is fucking weird, considering, like, we had seen, like, she had been watching scary movies that day.
I love horror movies.
Yeah, we love horror movies. And horror movies, those two. But, so she was mumbling into her pillow, going, like she's just laying here, she's like, yeah, I heard that too. Like talking to it like it's her best friend, and just kind of like, Melissa, are you okay? And she just keeps talking, saying incomplete sentences. Like, she'd say things like, where are we? But you can tell there was more to the sentence, like, where are we going? But she'd just end it. Like, how far is... And just ending the sentences halfway through, and I'm like, are you okay? And sometimes she'd speak right after I had asked her a question, but sometimes she would wait like 30 seconds. And then she started to get quiet. I was like, all right, she's done. darn. So, because I usually mess with her. So I go into the other room, and as I'm closing the door and the cat's like about to scratch my face off, as he usually does when I enter the other room, I hear her start talking again. And so I walk back in, I sit down on the floor, and I just listen. And it's complete gibberish. It's all just bullshit going on. And after a while, I start asking her more questions like, where are you going? And she starts saying, I'm going home. And I'm like, where's home? And she's like, it's where we live. Like
That's the most basic answer
yeah,
ever.
exactly.
It's where we live.
It's where...
The hell?
And I'm like, who's we? And she's like, me and you. And I'm like, who am I? And she said, you're me. she does this stuff all the time, where she just kind of breaks everything with the logic. And I'm like, if you're me, who am I? And she's like, you're still me. And I'm like, then who are you? And she said, I'm you. And I'm like, if you could only see my face right now. So I'm like, I tried to throw her off by saying, if I'm you and you're me, then are you me while I'm you? Trying to like see what would happen. And she just said, please don't stop. And I'm like, don't stop what? And she said, you're hurting my brain. And I'm like, okay, she must be awake. She must be fucking with me right now, because this is just kind of like silly banter at this point. So I'm like, hon, are you okay? Do you need like water? And then she's like, why do they grow on trees? And I'm like, what grows on trees? And she said, why does the watermelon grow on a tree? I'm like,
it doesn't.
I'm like,
I'm
like, watermelons grow on vines, hun. And she was like, oh, they do. she already knew that. And I was like, you're thinking of tomatoes. Because I wanted to mess with her. I know they grow on vines too. And she's like, yeah, the tomato tree. Gather at the tomato tree.
I did not say
You
this.
did say this!
There's no fucking way.
And she
You
goes...
conveniently never record this shit because...
I will, no. At some point, I will record it.
At some point, he says.
I will, alright?
All right.
Next time you do it, I will.
Okay.
Alright? And
All
we'll
right.
post it to your channel.
Promise?
Yes, and we'll post it to your channel.
Okay.
So, she's going on about, like... we were at the tomato tree part, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. She's like, we'll meet at the tomato tree. And I'm like, who are you meeting there? And she said, me. So she's meeting herself at the tomato tree.
You almost said the potato
I
tree.
almost said potato. Yeah.
Top of the morning to you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I'm just kind of like, what are you gonna do with you at the tomato tree? I almost said potato again. Why did
Jack says the guy's soul inside your body, apparently.
Well, I am part Irish. But, so I'm like, so what are you going to do with you at the tomato tree? So I almost said she. And you were like, we're going to throw a party. I'm like, a party? A party for what? And you said, the tree got a year younger. I'm like, so what do you call that kind of party? And she's like, it's a death day party. And I started to click in my mind, maybe she had because she had just watched horror movies. I'm thinking maybe she had watched the trailer for like Happy Death Day or something.
Nope.
But yeah, apparently no. So, I was like...
I haven't watched that trailer in a long time.
I've never seen that movie, actually. That was from last Halloween.
It's mixed.
That was from 2 Halloweens ago, actually.
It's really predictable towards, like, the second or third act, because you're like, you know immediately who it is. You're like, I fucking knew it was
I
her.
remember you saying that you were able to guess it. That was that movie came out the day that we met, funny enough.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So anyway, so I thought she was doing, like... something from that movie, and I had remembered that we had just watched Sinister,
Wait, this was that recently? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So I had realized that we had just watched Sinister, like 2 nights prior or something, and I'm thinking of the one where the lawnmower one.
Yeah, that fucking scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. So I was an asshole, and when I say I was an asshole, I mean I was a real asshole. She was scared shitless during that scene. I had to hold her, so I got on my phone. And I may or may not have pulled up the video of the lawnmower scene and played it slightly, like, not loud, slightly in the background, like right behind her head, to see if she'd wake up or react, or if she'd... Because if she was awake, she would have punched me in the gut because she would have been pissed that I'm trying to scare her. And to be fair, you know, I was kind of hoping that would happen. But instead, she said... Jeremy, why are you lawn mowing in the garden? And I'm like, what? So I turned off the video. I'm like, what do you mean lawn mowing in the garden? Like, Jeremy, you're going to ruin the carpet. Like,
What?
yeah, I'm like, if I'm in the garden, why is there carpet out here? And then she's like, we grow the carpets here. I'm like,
Grow carpets?
Yeah, I'm like, carpets that... We don't grow carpets. They're woven together, I believe. And what did you say next? It was something really stupid, as per usual.
That's per usual, he says.
It was, you see how the story's devolving? You're asking about a tree's, like, unbirthday party. A tomato tree, mind you. So... What did you say? It was really fucking stupid and it baffled me. You had said that that I was destroying the carpet and that they grow out of the floor, and I had said that it was woven together, I believe. Oh, no, that's when you started talking about the fucking elves. Yes. That's the part where you were like, they're taken from the tree. It made no sense. They're taken from the trees and woven together by the elves. And I'm like, what's taken from the trees? What elves? And you said, I think you meant Keebler elves, but you said Keebler elves? Like, you said, no, you didn't say Keebler, you were like, like, you said something really weird, like you had a stroke. It literally sounded like you just had a stroke when you said it, but it was similar to Keebler. And I was like, all right, well, what are they weaving? You're like, they're weaving the tomatoes into the carpet. And I'm like, they're sewing tomatoes to the carpet? And you're like, no, they're turning them into the carpet. And I'm like, what do we do? How do we stop them? And you're like, we don't stop them, they're saving us. I'm like, what are they saving us from? The termites. I'm like, termites eat wood.
There's no way this fucking happens.
Yes, this happens. This does happen, and I will record it some night. I promise. I will get you a recording of you saying the dumbest shit that, like, people would pay for this.
Oh my god. If anybody in my family is watching this right now, which I really hope they're not, because it'd be like really, really weird. But if anyone in my family is
Please
watching
comment
this right
the
now,
craziest stories you've ever heard from Melissa while she's asleep.
because no one's ever told me I've self-talked before until today.
Oh my god.
Okay, what other stories do you have? We have
Okay, well, yeah, I've kind of taken up like 14 minutes here talking about one story that's not even halfway finished, mind you. But, just to quick summarize how the story ended, she went into detail about how the elves were saving us from the termites that are plotting to take over the world. And she ended up having me save the day by putting the termites into like a plastic bag or something and then throwing it into the sun. And my reward for it was a pat on the head. Like, literally, I said, "What? I saved the world, what do I get?" And you're like, "You get a pat." I'm like, "Who's Pat?" And you're like, "No, Pat." And I'm like, "Pat who?" And she's like, "Pat." And I gave up. I just gave up. And that's when I left. That's when I was like, fuck this.
Oh,
so that was, and then there's the gorilla adventure.
Tell me that one.
The gorilla adventure.
Okay.
Okay. Oh man, it's been so long. How exactly did it go? Let me quickly summarize. So basically, this was another one where she was kind of struggling to sleep that night, and she managed to pass out eventually. And she was talking for like 20 minutes, just bullshit. And then it started becoming a story about how she wanted to start a band. And King Kong was attacking the Statue of Liberty. And her solution to this was to get a comically sized banana to give it to King Kong. But she had to go across the ocean, so she got a bunch of jet skis. So she flew all the way back from New York to Florida.
Wait, on jet skis?
No. You flew using a plane to buy jet skis in Florida so you could bring them on the plane back to New York just so you can drive the jet skis across the water to the Statue of Liberty. And you started talking about how, like, you needed to, like, play music to give the banana to him. And I asked you where you were going to get the equipment. And you were like, we have to go back to Florida. So you went back to Florida to get drummer's equipment. Nothing else. You did not buy a single other instrument. Nothing. You bought, like, a half set of drums. And I think you bought 3 drummer sticks. And then you went back to New York. And then I asked you, how are you going to get the equipment across the water? So you kicked off someone from their jet ski. You literally removed one of your band members from a jet ski so that the drum could drive itself there.
What?
So you and 3 of your band members and a drum drove jet skis to, I think it's Ellis Island.
Yeah.
And then the other band member had to swim there himself.
Did he die?
I don't remember, because I don't remember you ever mentioning him ever again. So that happened, and then you guys, like, you were saying that you were gonna sing him a song, and all you did while laying in bed, half asleep, you went, like, making these, like, noises, like you were trying to sing, but not really.
And I can sing, you guys.
No, she can sing amazingly. She's got a beautiful voice. But I think it's because when you're asleep, your body's at like half or 1/8% performance.
Oh my god!
So she's just kind of like half humming a song through her like gut, and then like I was like, so what happened? She's like, he took the banana, and I'm like, so what? How does giving him the banana help? He needs to feed his son. And I'm like, he has a son. And she's like, yeah, he was starving. That's why he's at Ellis Island. I'm like, why does that mean he's at Ellis Island? Because he's starving. What's at Ellis Island that he needed? We have to go back to Florida. And then you went back to Florida to get another comically sized banana from Home Depot.
Why Home Depot?
I don't know! And then you flew back there.
Oh my god.
You flew back to Ellis Island, but this time you didn't jet ski across the ocean, you just landed the plane on the island, which now conveniently has an airport on it. And you gave him another giant banana. But this one was fake. And you said you put sleeping powder in it.
Oh my god.
So King Kong falls asleep.
How about his son now?
You didn't explain too much. There's a lot of plot holes here. So King Kong falls asleep, and you were like, we did it. We saved Ellis Island. You were saying how you saved the world from him, but you really just kind of saved Ellis Island temporarily. I was like, okay, so what are you going to do with King Kong? we have to bring him home. I'm like, all right. Do you know where he lives? And you said he lived in the Pacific Ocean.
What?
Yes.
How does a fucking giant ape live in the Pacific Ocean?
So you're like, we gotta bring him, and I'm like, you only have 4 jet skis and a drum set. How are you gonna bring him to the Pacific Ocean? And what was your solution? Oh, it was going and something about stealing like a helicopter. So you got each band member to steal their own helicopter and tie him to the helicopters and fly him to the Pacific Ocean. And so you go into detail about how you basically just drop a giant ape into the ocean who then proceeds to drown to death.
Oh no, I killed King Kong.
You literally described that, oh no, he forgot how to swim.
Oh my god.
And then I was like, oh no, what's his son gonna do? And you said, we have to go back for his son. And, alright, good thought, sure. But you completely forgot about how are we gonna save King Kong. You just left him there. So you apparently all fly back to Ellis Island and in your helicopters and leave behind drowning King Kong, who we never hear from again, mind you. You never mention him again. That's the end of his story arc. He's dead. All right. You never said he died, but you said he was struggling to swim. So I could only imagine what happened. So you then pick up baby King Kong.
Oh my god.
And you take him to our house. Because you said, now he has no more family. So you bring him to our house. And you said, Jeremy, if we got another pet, what would you do? And I said, I don't know. Could we afford him? And you were like, how much are bananas? And I'm like, I don't know. It depends on the weight and stuff. And I guess they're not too expensive. And you're like, can we keep him? I'm like, keep who? And you're like, can we keep King Kong? And I'm like, you mean his son? You're like, yeah, can we keep him? I'm like, where would we keep him in the apartment? He's about 50 feet tall. My apartment only has 1 bedroom and a bathroom. And you were like, it's okay, we can keep him in the cat cage. I'm like, we can keep him in the cat cage. That's a great idea, Melissa.
Oh my god. There's no way.
And
There's no fucking way.
we proceeded to end the story by me asking you a bunch of questions that you never answered. I said, so what happened with the band? Oh, they died. And I'm like, how did they die? You're like, I don't remember. I was like, oh man, I am so sorry to hear about that. Well, whatever happened to, I think there was another part along the journey that I just completely missed while retelling the story. I asked a question about that, and she was like, oh, I forgot what happened to them. And I'm like, oh, what a coincidence. That sucks. That really does suck. And so I just basically asked a bunch of questions that I got half answers to, and I was like, hon, are you okay? And she was like, I'm tired. And I'm like, you should be. You really should be.
Oh my god.
And then I hugged her and wished her well. Clearly didn't work. And then she eventually stopped breathing. Talking.
Oh good, she's dead.
Oh good, she's dead. No more stories. But no, she then, got quiet, and I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then I played Smash Brothers in the corner for a while. just to see if she started up again.
Oh my god!
I love the adventures you go on, because sometimes they're like 2 minutes long. Sometimes they're like an hour or 3 hours. So, sometimes you do like have like 5-minute delays between your responses and shit. So like sometimes I'm just kind of waiting
to hear what
happens next, and sometimes it's not worth it, because it's just kind of like, I'm at the farm, and I wait 5 minutes. The farm is nice. And I'm like, what's at the farm? And I get no response. A couple minutes pass by. I'm like, hon, what's at the farm? No response for another couple minutes. Is there anything nice at the farm? They have trees. I'm like, they have trees? Wow. Where is the farm? I wait. It's here. Where's here? Right over there. I didn't even get to the part, you sleepwalk sometimes. So there, I wish I could show you guys, but I can't. So there's a chair all the way over here, a black chair that we just kind of keep an old CRTV on, our VCR TV, and you can't sit on it because there's too much garbage on it.
Like this entire apartment, you can't sit anywhere besides the couch and this bed.
So she gets up, steps on my fucking face, mind you, because I sleep on the floor so she can have the bed.
I told you could sleep in the bed and you refused to.
Because I want you to have the best comfort here. So anyway, she steps on my face as per usual, and she just hobbles over here. I wish you guys could see this. And then she just sits down on the TV thing and slides off and like slams her foot on the floor. And then she just slowly walks back to bed and sits down and lays down and just acts as if nothing happened. And so I'm just sitting there with my, like, a foot imprint on my face, looking at her. I'm like, hon, are you okay? And I get no response. And I just kind of climb onto the bed. And I'm like, hon, are you okay? I get nothing. And then I just say, I think it's best to leave well enough alone. And yeah, like sometimes there has been a time where I told you about the time where I found you in the shower, right?
No.
I didn't tell you that?
No.
I thought I told you that the other day.
No. You tried to tell me I went into the kitchen and tried to make coffee, and I ended up pouring fucking, like, 10 different ingredients that had nothing to do with coffee.
I will get to that.
Well, we can't do that in this podcast. It's already almost half an hour long.
Okay. All right, fine. We'll get to that another time. But this one was actually really fucking creepy. So we had both watched, what was that one movie that we both, like, you were glad I was joking the whole time, but you were afraid.
Oh, that one, like, Siberian and, like, snow movie?
Yeah. There was one where, like, we watched a bunch of weird paranormal ones.
Yeah, it was a found footage movie, I think.
Found footage. You were really scared about the closet that night.
I hate the closet. I hate any door that's open with a black nothingness inside of it.
Behind it. Yeah.
It scares the shit out of me.
What she did was, usually what happens is, I stay out in the living room area with the doors to the bedroom closed. So the cat's out with me. He has access to the bathroom, and he has access to the living room.
Except when I lock the door.
Yeah, except for when you lock him out of his fucking bathroom. But anyway, aside from that, usually the bedroom is closed off on its own. Mm-hmm. Well, while I'm out there playing games, sometimes I, have to go to the bathroom. So I go into the bathroom, and do my business. But this night, I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear a door open. I didn't hear a door close. Mm-hmm. She had been asleep for like 2 hours. It was about 1 a.m. Mm-hmm. I was playing Smash Brothers and watching YouTube and so on and so forth. And even the cat didn't seem to notice anything. I go in, I'm like, all right, I need to go to the bathroom. So I start walking to the bathroom, and I turn the corner,
and there she is, like, huddled in the bathroom, like, in the tub, like, looking at the corner, hunched over. It was really weird.
Creepy.
Yeah. I was like, hun, are you okay? And I didn't get a response. She was just kind of there, literally whispering to herself.
Must be possessed by demons. Demons, Jim!
Like, you were whispering in, like, a high-pitched... Like, not, like, abnormally high-pitched, but, like, you weren't, like, mumbling like this. You were like, kind of like this. Like, in a higher-pitched voice. You know? And you were just kind of doing that. Just talking to yourself.
That's fucking creepy.
And you were doing that for, like, 2-3 minutes before I turned the lights on. I turned the lights on, and immediately you stopped. You stopped whispering. You stayed in the same position. And it was like you were, like...
Possessed
yeah,
or something.
literally, because, you know, I go over to you, I put my hand on your shoulder, you didn't wake up. I guided you out of the bathtub, which means I had to help you lift your legs and everything. Mm-hmm. I guided you out of the bathtub into the bedroom, like, laid you down. Your eyes were open the whole time.
Jesus, that's like some paranormal activity shit right there.
Yeah, I laid you down in the bed, and your eyes were open the whole time.
Wait, didn't we watch that the same day?
No, that was a different day.
Oh, okay.
That was almost a month later.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I laid you down, and I had to close your eyes for you.
That's creepy.
I put my
no.
I had to do that. I put my finger over her eyes and slowly, like, closed her lids for her. And I kissed her forehead and said, you know, are you okay? And I didn't get a response. And I hugged her for a couple minutes, and then she put her arm around me, and she asked me, hey, can I have water? I don't feel good. And I got her water, and then I had noticed that she was sweating a lot. So I feel like she might have... Because it did feel like you had a fever.
Maybe I had like a delusional state whenever from a high fever or something.
Yeah, you were definitely sleepwalking.
Yeah.
And
that's fucking
it might have been that because...
Fuck,
I think that what happened was, since you had your eyes open, your brain was figuring out what to do with your fever.
Right, so it's trying to cool me down by getting in the shower.
Yeah, you got in the shower expecting... Because you were hunched over like you were expecting the water to hit you.
Right.
And... You know, when that wasn't working, you just kind of stood there, you know. So I feel like your body was trying to adapt to the situation.
Right.
But when you don't know what's going on, it looks very creepy.
Yeah, that was shit. Demon shit from hell is what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's pretty much all the time we got for today, but that was... We'll probably have to do a part 2 of this series, and we'll talk about more shit.
The scary stuff and, like, haunted stories, ghost stories.
Yeah, we'll talk about that next time, I think.
Creepy stuff. Yeah, I can go on for hours about all the creepy shit that's happened in my life. Yeah. But we could even eventually do another episode on
dreams and
wacky stories and wacky dreams, because we've only talked about your sleepwalking.
Right.
And I'm hoping I can get a better... like a recording of you sleepwalking at some point.
Right. Alright, cool. Thanks for sharing, dude.
I'm gonna fucking do it this time. That's it.
Oh my god. That's it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Have a lovely evening.
You kill me.
And